Well, world leaders have been sending condolences and offers of assistance to South Korea after the country's deadliest aviation disaster on home soil. 179 passengers and crew aboard the Jeju Air flight were killed when the plane skidded off the runway at Muan International Airport and burst into flames. Only 2 people survived, both members of the crew. Investigators are now analysing the flight data as they try to piece together what happened.
Combing the wreckage in search of bodies and answers. Recovery workers have now located both of the aircraft's flight recorders. They will help determine what caused one of South Korea's worst aviation disasters. This is the moment the Jeju airplane skids down the runway at Muan Airport. After failing to deploy its landing gear, it crashes into a wall and bursts into flames. Only 2 flight attendants who were in the plane's tail section survived. Inside the airport, family members have been enduring an agonizing wait as the remains of their loved ones are slowly identified. Jeon Jae-young lost his daughter.
It's a catastrophe. It should not have been this bad. No one lived except for the 2 flight attendants in the tail section. I don't understand why the pilot had to attempt a landing on the runway, only to crash into the wall.
South Korea's acting president said the government is assisting recovery efforts. He expressed his deep remorse.
I offer my deepest condolences to those who tragically lost their lives. I also feel deeply sorry and extend my sympathies to the families. As the acting head of government responsible for the safety and lives of our residents, I feel an indescribable sorrow and profound regret.
Authorities say the plane likely struck a flock of birds as it prepared to land, despite a control tower warning to the pilots.
Julian Bray is an aviation security expert based in Cambridge in the United Kingdom. We're going to have a little chat now about some more about this awful accident. Welcome to DW. After everything you've seen today, what is the most likely scenario that could have led to this tragic accident?
First of all, deep condolences to everybody concerned. And the pictures are truly shocking. I've seen some videos and I have to wonder how the pilot managed to land that aircraft level on the runway. He had no undercarriage at all. It failed to deploy. And that is very worrying because they have backup systems so they can get the wheels down, if you like. And of course, as it was scraping along the runway, the bottom of the engine cowling was also scraping along the runway, and there's no way they could deploy the flaps, which act as an air brake and slow down the aircraft. So here you have an aircraft hurtling along in a straight line, then it veers off to the right, and then for some hideous reason there is a wall there, and at that point the whole thing burst into a fireball. I would have expected a fire on the runway itself, but it didn't. And as we've seen, the emergency workers were very, very brave, and they managed to get 2 of the crew members out from the aft of the plane, from the rear section of the plane.
Really incredible, Julian. I'm just going to jump in there, Julian, because before the crash, there were warnings about flocks of birds in the area around the airport. What happens to an aircraft when a so-called bird strike occurs?
Yes, I understand the air traffic control managed to get a warning to the pilot. Now, this is on the 2nd attempted landing because he'd already done a go-round. So he was trying to get in, and the warning came too late, really. But basically, they're saying there's a high number of birds flying around, and they became ingested into one of the engines. Not both, it's the right-hand engine. Now, aviation people will tell you that an aircraft should be able to fly with one engine. Whether it can fly at that very low level, we don't know, because this one clearly didn't. And it's a very popular aircraft. It's the Boeing 737-800. There's over 5,000 of these aircraft around the world, and flying with hundreds of airlines. And so it is a complete mystery. Hopefully, now the black boxes, of course, they're actually painted orange, but they're called black boxes.
Yeah.
And that's the flight data recorder and the flight voice recorder. They've been recovered. One seems to be okay. The second one's got some damage. But we also have the 2 crew members, so hopefully they can put the whole timeline together and find out exactly what's happened.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll
major...
get that information pretty soon. Julian, I'm sorry I'm going to have to jump in there. Just we're running out of time. We're near the end of the show, but great to have you on the show, and thanks for sharing your expertise with us. Aviation security expert Julian Bray.